What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is here, and it is time for a new video. We now know where Leeds United stand going into this international break and what needs to be done. But will it get done? Daniel Farke has got a lot of work to do over this international break, and it's more about reflections upon himself. I always ask you, will he learn from his mistakes? So far, the answer is no. But in this 2 week period, can he reflect, look back at last season and think, I need to do this differently? I'm going to get into a couple of his post-match comments. First of all, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, drop your thoughts and comments below. Big up to Soup Thanks donators, William Morrison and Mr. P. Thank you so much for that. And big up to all channel members. Just finished watching the Sheffield derby. It was a terrible game, to say the least. But Sheffield United do what they do, and they get things done. And it's something I've said from the start of the season. I saw exactly what Chris Wilder was assembling with the team. He's got quality in there, but he's got that doggedness to him. And if you take away their 2 point deduction, which you can't do, but if you did, they'd actually be 2 points clear of us at this point in time. So they have won. I mean, they've won more games than us this season. You know, the facts are there. Look, the numbers don't lie. And with Sheffield United, with Burnley, they're grinding out results in a way that we just haven't done. And I've got to tell some truths here, and some of you won't like to hear it, but 1 win in 4 is not good enough for Leeds United. It's not. And if you want to go extra, say 2 wins in 5, that's still not good enough for Leeds United. After the result against Sheffield United, we should be home and dry. We should be. We should be building on momentum, but instead, we've done this. A lackluster 1-1 draw at home against West Brom after the euphoria of 2 brilliant results. That can't happen. You've got to build momentum and get that home win and stamp your mark on the whole league. But instead, we had a draw against West Brom at home. We then go, to Portsmouth and lose. That's unacceptable for me. You've seen Portsmouth's results since they've beaten us. We should be taking care of Portsmouth away. I don't care what anyone says for that. That was poor, a poor result altogether. We then beat Millwall, but even with that, and go back to my match reaction, there were red flags in there. And some of you didn't want to hear them because we won the game. And there's always blind spots when we win games and people can't see that there's some issues there. But the players did not get a breather in that one. Same lineup from Portsmouth up until the 85th minute. No changes. No changes, even though it's clear as day. There should be some players that shouldn't be starting and some that should have been taken off. But we win the game. And then, of course, yesterday's absolute, lackluster effort against QPR up until we scored the goal. We looked like we should have won, but again, changes weren't made in the game. And that stifled us. And it's Daniel Farke. Listen, Daniel Farke gets all the plaudits for being the first manager to get 80, 50 wins in 80 and all that stuff. That's all cute. But what does it mean if we don't go up? It means absolutely nothing. So he needs, and the thing is, what I'm saying here as well, this isn't difficult stuff that he needs to do. This is simple stuff. This isn't tactical tweaks here and there. This isn't, something monumental. There's no monumental shift that needs to be made. He just needs to change the personnel for the quality that he's got in his arsenal, and he hasn't done it. And there was ample opportunity in this poor stretch of games where he could have done so. And when you look at these fixtures, people, this is very favorable. This is a very favorable run of fixtures. Now, the next 4, I would argue, are just as favorable. Maybe Middlesbrough away because they always give it that extra bit against Leeds United. But Swansea at home, no excuses not for 3 points. The way Luton have been playing this season, even though it's a 12:30 kickoff, there should be no excuses there either. I've seen Burnley turn them. I've seen loads of teams turn over Luton. Never mind Burnley. You know what I mean? They've been absolutely terrible. And of course, another 12:30 kickoff against Preston. But again, at home, I would expect maximum points. But Daniel Farke yesterday, there was a couple of things that just kind of showed his stubbornness and limitations. And if you're a Daniel Farke truther, then this isn't, you just click away because I don't want to hear it. These are red flags. These are red flags for his blind spot when it comes to tactical things. First of all, obviously, we knew that Manor Solomon was frustrated yesterday when he got subbed off because he shouldn't have been. But this was Daniel Farke's explanation, and I have heard this in audio as well, people, so I'm not just taking it out of context via words. Baron Cross summed it up here. Manor is always unhappy when he's not playing all 97 minutes, but he started all 3 games in 6 days, 7. He is important for us, created a lot. Hope for one lucky punch from Ramazani, he can produce magic. Little moment for my heart when he tried that late header. There's so much wrong with that within itself. Mano, first of all, shouldn't have been taken off. He was one of our most dangerous attackers, if not the most dangerous attacker. The guy on the other side, DJ, once again, love DJ in the championship, but the last couple games, he has looked fatigued. He has looked way off it, way off it. And I've said before, I understood previously with Daniel Farke keeping Dan James on because he can give you that moment of magic in the last 10 minutes with his pace. But even he's looked a little leggy in the past couple days. Games, and he should have been the one coming off way earlier for Ramazani. And to say, hope for one lucky punch from Ramazani can produce magic, again, it's disingenuous, and it's very much like last season where he throw on Jaden Anthony for 3 minutes, Mateo Joseph for 3 minutes, and saying that these guys can produce, and I hope they'd get something. He said the same things last season when he was giving them charity Make-A-Wish minutes, and he's doing it again. It's a major red flag for me, and it just shows his tactical limitations that I already know he has, and I know a lot of you do too. You know what I mean? Like I say, I'm not taking anything away from the wins he's got. He's obviously earned those. But when it comes to the crunch time, when we're behind, he's not very good from playing from behind. Pause. You know, it's always a Hail Mary with throwing on all the attackers, or he just doesn't do tactical tweaks. But this isn't even the worst thing. And listen, he says Mano's fine after, and players always cool down after. But I've always said I like when a player knows they're doing well and they come off frustrated. I even like it if they're not doing well and they come off frustrated, because it just means that they know they could have done more, or they feel they could have done better if they stayed on. I've got no issues with players showing some emotion in that way. But this was the kicker, and I think this is going to be the one that probably gets people talking. He wasn't happy with himself. He had a particular change in mind until the early hours, but went against his gut instinct. Now, a lot of you would be thinking it must be after seeing Nanto's cameo, it must have been Nanto in the 10, right? It probably is that one, right? Yes, that would be the one he's wrestling with the most. It wasn't. It was Ilya Gruev over Joe Rothwell. That was the one he wrestled with. He did mention that Nanto, he was thinking of taking Aronson out and putting Nanto in, but that wasn't the one that was wrestling with his mind. It was the defensive midfield. And it kind of says it all, doesn't it? Just a bit of the quote here. I'm a bit unhappy with myself. I thought to bring in Ilya until the early hours of the morning. Our awareness and defensive sharpness is always a bit more on it when he's there, but I wanted to take the momentum of a really good game. Guys, Ilya Gruev yesterday would not have really helped much. Now that whole incident with Brendan Aronson, you don't know if it happens because it's different players on the pitch, different actions happen, whatever. But the first goal was just simply Brendan Aronson playing a blind pass when he shouldn't have, and that's basically on Brendan Aronson because Danny Farke keeps starting him when he's bang out of form. He's so out of form, it's untrue. And the fact that he didn't see that as the one is the worry for me, because he's also said as well, I haven't got the quote up, but he said it's going to give this 2-week break now, gives players a bit of a break. It gives some of our injured players time to come back in Ethan and Patrick and Max Verber. But this should be more of a time, and I know I've said this last season, it should be more of a time for him to reflect on some of the in-game decisions that he makes or doesn't make. But once again, I feel like I'm repeating myself from last season. I feel like I'm repeating myself with this kind of he needs to learn. I know he's not going to learn, and I know some of you feel he's not going to learn either, but he has to do something different because now, instead of being home and dry, instead of being clear at this international break, we are literally one bad result from dropping to third. And Burnley don't look like they're slowing down anytime. Sheffield United just keep going. And again, Cooper today didn't have much to do, but when he was called upon, solid, fully concentrated, making saves for his team, as he's done all season. As he's done all season along with Trafford. We've got to get this right. We have to. And it's about utilizing those players that you can utilize from the bench earlier and starting them in games where it's a little bit ropey. Look, we've got an international break. Dan James is going away. And Dan James, he deserves all the starts in the world. But if he's anywhere tired like he has been, we need to put Willie Nanto in that on that right-hand side, because we know that Brendan Aronson is going to start the next game, right? There's no point even debating it. He's going to say in the pre-match press conference, Brendan is rested, he's recharged mentally, physically, he's ready to go again. We know the script. But Willie Gnonto has got a chance after that excellent cameo yesterday to freshen up the team and give us a new dimension. Because when he came on, it gave the whole team a lift. It gave them all a lift. But this is going to be on Farke now. We've got 8 games, 8 games to get this done. Cannot mess it up from the position we're in because it will be a disaster. And I said in many videos before, I may even link it to this video. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. If we don't finish top, there are questions to be asked after the Sheffield United result, because it's either on the playing personnel or it's on the manager. You don't slip from the top after getting those 2 results for no reason. So there will have to be an inquest if we don't go on to win the league. You know what I mean? But that will be a conversation for another day. And look, I will keep the content coming during the international break, so keep it locked on the channel. Keep your notifications on so you know when I've uploaded or if I do go live. But guys, give me your thoughts on anything discussed or your general feelings now. Now we know the state of play with Burnley winning yesterday, Sheffield United winning today, the table as it is. Give me your thoughts and feelings about any and everything in regards to Leeds United. And yeah, listen, just try and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. There's a cup final to watch today, Liverpool, Newcastle. Let's go Newcastle, hopefully you win. But yeah, people, that is it for the video. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your day. Like the video. It's free and it helps out the channel. Peace.